Coming to you live from Transylvania, the two most demented minds in the podcast game today, the Bless Your Heart Boys. Episode 3. It's gonna be a spooky one.
Just kidding. What's up, y'all? How are we doing on this Tuesday? Happy Halloween. God, we're such idiots.
We are. It's great. Love it. Love it. If nobody else does or appreciates the fact that we're idiots, we do.
We have a good time. That's all I got to say.
Yes,
It is what it is.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm good, man. I see that I've got my Bless Your Heart Boys shirt on, and looks like you're rocking the last year's version of The Nest.
Well, I had to give The Nest some love.
I got it.
It's like, we got the Bless Your Heart Boys thing going. No question. That is who we are. But yeah, I got these T-shirts the other day. Pretty cool.
Nestoberfest.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite little places in Kennesaw. So
they've got like some trivia going on tonight or something.
Yeah, they've got a Ghostbusters trivia going on tonight. I think it's 7:00, and I ain't afraid of no ghost. So there you go.
Who are you gonna call?
I don't know.
Ghostbusters.
I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't do well.
No, wouldn't do well.
No.
What'd you get into this weekend?
This weekend, I literally watched football all weekend.
That's it.
It was glorious.
Love it.
I have not sat and just watched football like game day, first game, 3:30 game, 7:00 game. I haven't done that in forever.
You were a couch potato.
I was a couch potato, enjoying every bit of it. And I got to tell you, there were some scary football games on this weekend.
I see what you did there. I like that.
Defense apparently is not an option anymore in football. Spooky defense. Example, the Georgia Tech North Carolina game.
Yeah.
And North Carolina comes in with one loss, right? Still in the ACC hunt. Couldn't win it all.
I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech, a hell of an engineer.
Hey.
Yeah.
And then, they give up 46 points to Georgia Tech, which is insane. And somehow, some way, Georgia Tech turned the ball over and won the game. I have no idea. Georgia Tech gave up like 800,000 yards on the ground.
Well, we had the conversation and the talk about, they were on a win-loss, and they were due the win.
And they got it.
Yeah.
And this is 3 years in a row that they beat a ranked North Carolina team.
That's crazy.
Which is just weird.
That is crazy.
But it's what's happening. And then I watched the Georgia-Florida game.
Yep.
UGA manhandled the Gators.
Just gator
There's no
tail.
other way around it. Just went down there and cooked up some gator and just had themselves a big old pot of something.
I saw a meme that was like the UGA got Ugga. He's like, boo, and like scares the gator. It's like, just, boo, done.
That's pretty good. But yeah, it was ugly. Had some friends that went down, said it was a beautiful day, but ugly for football. Just ugly. And then watched a little bit of the Colorado game. Shadur Sanders honestly needs to put a temporary protective order out on the teams he's playing. The guy's running for his life. I feel so bad for him. Apparently he had to get some kind of injection during the game just to finish, just to play.
Really?
I'm like, what is this? This is back in the 80s, it's just awful. And it's got to be tough for Dion to watch his son out there just taking a beating.
Yeah.
It can't be fun.
Scary football, though, I'd have to say, the Falcons. Let's go again. Seriously?
Dude. I don't even know what's going on with the Falcons.
Are we Heineke now? We're Team Heineke.
How do you watch? Now, I'm Arthur Smith. Let's play a game.
Okay.
I'm Arthur Smith,
yep.
Right? I'm watching that first half, which, by the way, might have been some of the worst professional football. It reminded me of Dave Archer days when the Falcons were just dreadful back in the 80s. Anyway, as bad a game as a starting quarterback could play, Desmond Ridder was on his way.
Yeah.
So he comes out and, oh my goodness, Taylor Heineke's in the game.
Yeah.
We come back. We have a chance to win. He put us in position to win. And then what does Arthur Smith do immediately after the game? Well, we're undecided.
Right.
Probably going to be
still
Desmond
our guy.
Ritter.
Still our guy.
We have tons of faith in him.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Arthur Smith is not your guy.
Let's have Arthur talk to Arthur.
Arthur.
And let's get together and let's
have a round table, Arthur.
That's right. We're not talking about the round table. We're not talking about Dudley Moore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get the Arthurs together and get this figured out.
Figure it out.
It's Looney Tunes.
It is. It is the definition of just insanity.
And of course, the Falcons lost to a miserably awful Tennessee Titans team. And
there you go.
There you go. That was the weekend.
Yeah.
So how was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Spent a whole weekend at the church, which was awesome. I couldn't have had a better time with some students and hanging out. We had our fall festival on Sunday. Basically, the whole weekend was all about talking about community, which was awesome. So I really enjoyed that. Awesome. Basically, what we're trying to build here with the Bless Your Heart Boys and community, talking about how you try to think that everybody has it put all together. We're in unity. We're community together. And we laughed at a few things. There were a couple of stories that went through about talking about how Christians think they've got it all together and that people look at us all the time and we got the community and we know what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. Well, there was a quick top 25s list from a guy named Tom Rayner, who was the CEO of Lifeway Christian Bookstore in 09.
Sure.
And he put this thing out on Twitter. And is like, these are the top 25 things that churches argue about that disunify themselves. And one of them that was hilarious was keep it with the Halloween theme, I guess, is should we have deviled eggs at the church picnic?
Somebody might get possessed eating a good deviled egg. I don't know.
I know. And then the other one was we were talking about how whether or not there were bunches of churches that had like land and they were deciding whether they should put a playground or a cemetery. And that was like a number one reason why church had split was that. So we're just talking about things. That,
so if you've got an elderly church family, right? An elderly that's thinking towards the future, if they hear about that playground, they're just like, we're going to start another church or we're going to build a big burial plot.
And so the other one was like, which portrait of Jesus should you put in the foyer? And like, I want to know who took the picture of Jesus and which one you should put up there. But yeah, the big arguments, huge arguments. So,
I can see that.
Yeah, but
I can see that.
Yeah, but talking about
the tests of fellowship,
talking about community and unity. So it was really cool to finish the weekend with community at Roswell Street and having all the kids come and trunk or treat and all that fun stuff.
That's awesome. Trunk or treat. I'm sorry I missed the basketball. I was hanging out with my lovely bride. I'm sorry I missed the basketball. I really wanted to be there.
It was fun, man.
Just show everybody how to shoot the tray.
I love it.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was a good time. So but we saw a lot of. I got home on Sunday and saw a lot of specials coming on the TV. A bunch of scary movies and things like that. I'm sure that everybody was watching and just binge watching all these scary movies.
Oh yeah. So apparently they had the entire Scream series out. Halloween. All those classics that are out there, Friday the 13th.
What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Oh man, that's a good question. To be perfectly honest with you, the scariest movie I've ever seen wasn't really supposed to be a scary movie, I don't think. But I was 5 years old, and my parents went and took me to see the classic The Deer Hunter. And I don't know if you've ever seen The Deer Hunter.
Never in my life.
It's Robert De Niro. It's Meryl Streep. It's a classic movie about some guys that come back from Vietnam and them kind of struggling with kind of their lives. And they're from Pennsylvania. They used to go on these deer hunts together.
Pennsylvania's a scary place.
So I think, correct. So I think my parents thought this was about a guy that liked to hunt deer and he was just communal and one with nature. And literally, Christopher Walken in the movie goes back over to Vietnam and is playing Russian roulette and puts a gun to his head and blows his head off.
Stop.
I'm like 5 years old. Stop. I was freaking out. Nothing to do with Halloween. But anyway, if we move on to Halloween, it was traumatic. If we move on to Halloween or just scary movies as a franchise, by far, bar none, and I've seen a lot of scary movies, the original Amityville Horror.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's
about that
that's
house in Amityville, New York that was possessed. And there's the one scene where the little boy are kind of walking around and he looks over at the window and there's the two demon eyes. And honestly, I did not sleep for 60 days.
Yeah,
it scared me halfway to death.
Yeah, I think if I was... The funny thing is, scariest movie I've ever seen, bar none, flat out, it wasn't even a Halloween movie either. It was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Dude, when that guy at the
monkey brains,
and when he takes the heart and he's like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is I freaked out as a kid. I remember hiding behind the couch when that thing happened.
What do you think it was actually saying there? Was it like, is that like this is really a goat's heart?
Yeah, I remember it now. And it was the volcano thing. And then like the rocks and the glowing things. That scared me to death.
So how old were you when that movie came out?
I have no idea. I
don't
even know when it came out.
You're probably like 8, 9, somewhere
idea.
7, 8, 9 years old.
I just remember going to my best friend's house across the street and going, I'm not supposed to watch this. And then we turned it on, and I remember hiding behind the couch. Like, I couldn't.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, I remember that was intense. I remember. But I think I was more, like in high school or in college, and I was like, well, yeah, whatever.
But then the scary movie that was like, I guess more, Halloween-ish would be like the Poltergeist. Like
Poltergeist, that's a scary one.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So, I mean, but that's, I remember, isn't that like with the TV? Like, it's like, shh, and it's like, Carol Ann! And I'm like, no thanks.
We have exorcised the demons.
No thanks. So, yeah,
that's scary.
Can't do that one. But, I did that.
Okay, so beyond the scope of that, like, what is the scariest Halloween, like, villain to you?
Scariest Halloween villain?
Which one of the villains scares you, beyond the scope of, like, a satanic spirit? Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah. Isn't it remarkable how he never stops coming?
Ever.
I mean, I've seen him blown up, ran over by a bulldozer, annihilated, chopped in half.
Keeps on.
Shot.
Keeps on keeping on. I remember when I got my driver's license, and it was the first time I was driving at night. Some guy...
Was he chasing you?
No, but this guy had a Jason mask hanging from his rearview mirror, and like every time I turned my brakes on, it was just like... Pff. And I remember just being scared to death as a 16-year-old. Okay, and I couldn't figure out what it was until it was like, oh, it's just hanging in the... But who does that?
Yes, that's really good. That nobody
who does that?
Somebody that's very demented.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I hate clowns. Absolutely hate clowns to death. The little It clown guy.
Gotcha.
I can't do clowns. I went to a Shriner circus when I was about 7 years old, and it was all these 50, 60-year-old men dressed up in these creepy-looking clown outfits, and I screamed my head off for like a solid hour.
Like, I don't get along, like, I don't know about your family, but when we did Halloween, it was just, we'd just go out and just nice trick-or-treating. Like, I remember my dad and all my friends, we would get on the back of his truck, and we'd drive around, like, till late night, and we were like the cleanup crew, and then we had like our pillowcases, and we'd go through and we just stash it all up.
My pops had an old Husqvarna like lawnmower, basically a riding lawnmower, and we'd put together a little trailer, and we'd have some hay back there, and he'd just drive us around. And
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah, but I mean, to go with the clowns last year, I think it was last year, we did the Pennywise clown in the sewer right next to my house.
I remember that.
And we played a bunch of like clown circus music, and it was probably one of the scariest things that we've done.
Definitely glad I was not there last year.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Halloween for us, just, we go out, hang out with the community, have a good time with the folks in the neighborhood. You get to see people you haven't seen before. Like, it's like the pool. The pool's shut down, so we don't see each other there now. So now we just go around and you're trying to figure out who's who underneath the mask. And
so with you going out, is there a parent tax for your boys? I mean, do you...
Oh, bro.
How much of the candy do you actually eat, like the stash?
So I get the opportunity to send my kids out to do all the hard work, and then they come back, and the taxing... Oh. Yeah, taxation is right there in my home.
So what percentage do you take now that you're a communist?
I take a good 90%, and the kids look at me going, I did all of the work. I don't... That's right. That's how it works. Right, Thank you. You work, I get to benefit.
They get the circus peanuts. They get the bit of honeys. They get the caramel candy corn, all that kind of stuff.
You got it.
Okay, that's
you
cool.
Got it, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think last year, what was the one thing the kids got that was just absolutely atrocious? They hate the malt ball. What is that one?
Milk Duds?
No. What is the malt ball?
Whoppers.
Ones? Yes, the Whoppers.
Yes.
Cannot stand
overrated.
The yeah, and they get them in left or right. They go right up there with the candy corn. All you candy corn crazies out there. I don't care who you are. That's still awful.
So anyway. We had this big podcast feature on candy corn a couple weeks ago. I go over to Matt's house to basically visit. And what do I find out? Apparently the rest of the family loves some candy corn.
I am all by myself.
I'm looking for some chocolate. Battle. I'm like, can I get a chocolate? Can I get a Snickers bar? Can I get something? No. My only option was caramel corn.
Yeah, I actually have opened up Pandora's box, and now I'm starting to find candy corn like in my sandwiches. They're just hiding the stuff in there. Like, haha, I got it. No.
That's awesome.
Not going to happen.
Speaking of candy corn, so one last question on Halloween, just from our personal experiences.
Yes.
What's the worst thing you ever got for Halloween in your little trick-or-treat bag?
There was a lady down the street. She had the scariest house. It was awesome. She had these chains that would hang up inside the rafters of this tree, and then the husband would just like drop it, and it was you could hear it, and it was awesome. But she passed out those, like, you remember the little peanut butter chocolate haystack little, like, had like, they were little crunchies that you would get. She handmade these little delicatessen.
This must be a North Cobb district thing.
And yeah, it was like these little haystack. If you know what I'm talking about, it's like chocolate and peanut butter, and then I can't even remember what the thing is, like little curly Q like rice thing. I don't know, and that's the look I got. Yeah, I know. That's what you asked.
So you're saying she actually made these?
She made these, put them in little bitty Ziploc bags. Sorry, not Ziploc, sandwich bags. Like, not even have, like, but that was back in the day, man. Now I couldn't get my kids to eat anything. Like, if it's not sealed, don't eat it. You know what I mean? But that was the way it was. So, what about you?
That's interesting. So
you can't even wrap your mind around it.
Well, it makes no sense to me. Anyway, so there was a family that lived in our neighborhood.
Okay.
And they were from, like, Indiana, Ohio, somewhere like that. And there were the Zahn family. It was Ed and Bradley and Megan and a few of I can't remember all the families' names, but Brad and I went to Bells Ferry Elementary School together. And we just trick-or-treating, went out. My dad, again, had the Husqvarna out. We're just kind of cruising through the neighborhood and whatever else. And we end up kind of coming back towards our house. We're down at the bottom of a cul-de-sac, and they're on the left. So we started on the left, worked our way down the neighborhood, came back. And we get there, and I remember, ringing the doorbell, comes out, trick or treat, and right at that moment, it was me and several other kids. I didn't really pay attention to kind of what he threw in the bag, whatever. But my parents were with me. My dad was like hanging out, whatever. And then we get back, and I'm unloading everything, and it was a can of Vienna sausages.
Shut your mouth.
And I think I was 7 or 8 years old, maybe second or third grade, and he gave me a can. And my dad was like, "Oh yeah, that was from the Zahn family down the street."
No way.
I mean, not only did I not eat those, I've never eaten one since.
So you got to. Would that be a trick?
I believe I got tricked.
Or was that a treat?
I got tricked, punked, whatever you want to call it, something. I did not eat the Vienna sausages. I think my dad made.
And I'm going to step on my soapbox here for a second. When you say, I mean, if I'm passing out candy, there is this conversation that needs to occur. You don't just come up to my house and stick out the bag.
Yeah.
You must say the words trick or treat. Yes. And I will give you candy. You're already getting it basically for free. All I'm asking you to do.
You are getting it for free.
You just need to do something for it. That's it. Just 100%. Do trick or treat, and then you get your candy. That's it. Don't come up to me and just put your bag out.
I wish there was something you could really do about that. If a little kid comes up, maybe they're, a little intimidated, whatever else. And, of course, the little ones, you kind of got to give them a little prompt.
Now, if they have a speech impediment or something,
if you're like 12, 13 years old and you just kind of walk up and you look at me like I know I owe you the candy, I'll just shut the door.
Correct.
Like, see you later.
Now, if you're 13, 14, 15, now some people would think you would age out of trick-or-treating. But, I mean, again, at the same time, still be a kid. You can still go around. I'll give you candy. I don't care how old you are. You just got to play by the rules.
Okay, look, if you're 36 years old and you're rolling up to my house wanting candy, I'm like, look, dude, go get a job. Go get some candy. Sorry about that.
Nah, man. You get the candy corn.
But anyway, that's what you get. It sounds like your wonderful chocolate, peanut butter, layered Rice Krispie treat thing, whatever that, with some Vienna sausages, make a good snack someday.
There's no way. Drizzle that Vienna sausage juice all over those things. That's gross. Not happening. Not happening.
I would like to give a shout out as we do every week.
What are we giving a shout out to?
Our favorite hat maker.
The New Era cap.
That would be the New Era cap.
I see we both got our Atlanta Hawks on today.
The Hawks, dude, how about last night, bro?
Come on, bro. We're at 500.
Down 19 at the half, come back and win by, I think, at 15, 16 points. As Jonte goes for 41.
41 is 98-98 at the end of the third. And we go 41 points from Murray and just put it on them.
I think we outscored them in the third quarter, something like 78,000 to 12. It was something crazy.
It was
like
huge.
That.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win for the Atlanta Hawks.
Although I will say this, Anthony Edwards, if you're watching,
yes,
please come home to Atlanta.
Come on, baby.
We need you.
Come on, baby.
But yeah, shout out to New Era. Again, haven't heard from them as far as them sponsoring the Bless Your Heart Boys. But we're still holding out hope. It's going to happen.
We're still here, baby. We're still here. We're still here. You want to give a shout out to the Hawks. Speaking of basketball, I've got to give a big old bless your heart
Uh-oh.
to Flava Flav. Bro, did you see this?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you out there, I mean, come on. Not everybody needs to sing the national anthem. Not everybody. No. So it was the which game was this? I was watching.
It was the Bucks and Hawks.
It was the Bucks and Hawks.
It was the second game the Hawks played this year, or third game that we won that game in Milwaukee. I think it was because Flava Flav was there.
Okay, so Flava Flav was there. He goes on to sing the national anthem.
Yes.
And not everybody needs to sing the national anthem. No. Not everybody. Now, and he's a rapper. Let's give him that. All right? Let's give him that. But to sing the national anthem is tough. It's hard. Like I minored in vocal performance at Kennesaw State University.
My boy can sing.
Okay, and so I go in and I completely forgot about our audition that we had to do for this choir that we were going into.
Is that what you had to do?
No, I just showed up and I was like, what's the one thing I can sing? Well, let me just sing the national anthem. Let me do that. Come to find, that is one of the hardest songs to ever.
It seems like if you don't start sort of in the right range, it's kind of hard to get there. Right?
Correct. Yeah. So I go through the whole entire thing, and she gave me a bless your heart look when it was over. And she goes, that was beautiful. The whole 4 key changes you did in the middle.
Which I think it probably requires about 85.
Yeah, It was the whole thing. And so
Matt was in the pocket.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to give too much dogging on.
Okay.
Because he did, for what it was, he did a good job.
Your honest opinion, okay? We both listened to it. We listened to it together.
We did.
Kind of laughing a little bit and whatever else. Honest opinion.
It was a great showing from a rapper.
Perfect.
I mean, that's. Now, if you want to great showing from a rapper, and you look at T-Pain, for instance, he can crush that thing.
That dude can sing.
Yeah, but anyway, so there's that. That's all I got.
Bless your heart, Flava Flav.
Bless your heart, bub. I mean,
boy.
Yeah, boy.
You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
Public Enemy used to actually like them quite a bit.
Yeah. So that's the bless your heart moment for this week. What's something else we can talk about as far as Halloween as we're kind of figuring this thing out here? Costumes. What's a good costume?
What's a good costume?
What is a good costume that you've seen? What's the best costume? If it was like a theme, if it was whatever.
The funniest costume I've ever seen by far, Randy Johnson, the old pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, who threw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball
right into a bird
and obliterated the bird. I mean, the bird
blew it up.
Looked like it got hit by a bird shot. I mean, it just went everywhere.
Yeah.
And this guy looks exactly like Randy Johnson. I think we can find it.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend or wife or whatever is dressed up like the bird. She's got blood all over her face, like all over her outfit, feathers everywhere. I saw that a few years ago, and I thought that was absolutely
definitely find that
hysterical.
One. Yeah,
that's a question.
That's a good one. We saw some political ones that were out there. I mean, we'll leave those as they are.
Boy, we like to share some of those, but
yeah,
we're
not gonna get into that one. Not gonna get into that one at all. But I do have to. We've got a couple of friends that are friends of the Bless Your Heart Boys podcast here, that we're gonna share their theme over the last couple of years. I don't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, but Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers is a classic Halloween costume that's been around since 1985.
And these two families pulled it off.
I mean, completely and totally. One, I believe, was last year. The other was 2 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. They crushed it.
Check that out. Shout out to our buddy Clay Strickland.
Yep.
And our buddy Adam Wilson.
And their families.
We love those people. But, man, I tell you, absolutely. And it's a classic.
It is a classic.
It's sold. So that came out in 1985 by NES, right?
Yep.
Nintendo Entertainment Systems.
Yep.
380 million copies of the game is sold.
So you're saying almost everybody in the world, U.S., whatever, has a copy.
It's funny, the entire population.
They've got the Coca-Cola mindset. I'm going to put a Coke in everyone's hand.
And by God, they did.
Everyone's wearing overalls, and you're getting a mustache.
Luigi.
You get a mustache. You get a mustache. Okay,
yeah, I got you. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
That's legit.
But yeah, those are some great costumes for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, it's exciting. Halloween's a great time of year. It's great to see the kids out there doing their thing.
It is a good time to have a good time. So the other thing that's going on this weekend, let's get past Halloween tonight. This weekend we got the Taste of Kennesaw downtown.
Yes, don't forget Saturday, November 4th. It's from 11 to 6. I think there's going to be 30, 40-plus vendors down there.
Yep.
They're sampling all kinds of different food. There's some really, really great places in Kennesaw. Get down there if you can.
Yeah,
sure. Support local Kennesaw.
Build community. Go out there and see some folks. Just have a good time. It should be beautiful. I'm going to be on the baseball field for a little while on Saturday, but I'll make my way on down there. Merch update. We've got some things that are coming on. We're looking at in the next 30 days, so check us out in November. We're going to get some things out to you guys. But yeah, man, let's go and have a great Halloween.
Let's do it, man. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Stay safe out there.
You got it. Until next time, bless your heart.
Take care.